Hey, good morning. Hi, Tanya. I was going to show you guys the stream. I didn't realize that you could zoom when it was broadcasting. Look at that water. It's going crazy down there. That's the hubster smoking a turkey for Wednesday. But that stream, you guys have seen it before. It's just a little, good morning, good morning. It's usually just a little thing. Now it's almost out of its banks again. Yeah. So, hey, good morning. I didn't think I was going to make it. Buenos dias. Oh my gosh, my little stool is not out here. What a weird angle. Okay, oh, here it is. I thought I would chit-chat while I was setting up, since I'm a little bit later than normal. Heath had a doctor's appointment this morning, and then we had to go all the way back to a different town to get the mail. So, then we got to get a turkey in the smoker for the girls coming up Wednesday. So, just lots of running around nonsense. Here's a kitty for you. Hey, kitty. I'm going to set you down. There's my roof. That's attractive, isn't it? How entertaining. Let's look at Michelle's metal roof. Guys, I'm disorganized today. I'm disorganized. Let me get you hooked into the tripod here. Hello. It can't be smooth every day, right? Can't be organized every day. Yeah, the roof. You're cranky today, so am I. Cranky at doctors who don't realize. I'm cranky because doctors don't ask you first if you're cash paying or if you haven't paid off your deductible. So they order a bunch of random tests, and then you have to go and say, nope, not that, nope, not that, nope, not that. You can only test the things that you actually need, not the random curiosity tests. We don't have cash laying around for that. Plus, it's the end of November, so who wants to, be working on the deductible at the end of November? I was like, can we just do the necessary tests, and then, I promise he'll come back and do the other tests in January when we're on a new deductible? Right. That's kind of what I thought. I think it's just habit for them, or they're just, want to get a baseline on you or whatever. But I've kind of gotten used to doctors asking these days, like if you're on insurance, hey Heidi, or if you're cash pay or whatever, since people have so many different options now. Yeah. And he went in by himself, and he doesn't think to ask those things. Hey Heidi. But cash pay is pretty expensive. So we just do what has to be done. No academic pursuits. Anybody else cranky? I know, right, Tanya? Why do we have to go too? Hi, Rhonda. I hate having to go too. Like, I feel like I have to be in the mom role in that, and I don't like it. You're cranky too? Why are we all cranky? I know. That's what mine does too. Just, okay. Sure, whatever. Hey, Michelle. That's true too. Maybe it is just a cranky day. I heard from Catherine she couldn't be here. She's having a little bit of cranky day too. Always cranky. Saturn. Sit down at an office with books, smoothie, and wait. Oh, you're not cranky? It's a bitch. Michelle's not cranky. Michelle, spread your not crankiness. Just being. Oh, you're not cranky either. Oh, yeah, Linda. They totally. Chop, chop. Oh, you're not cranky either. Okay, we're running about 50% cranky. You need coffee. That's probably part of my problem is I've been up since 6, but I just now got the coffee, so. Today is our Dow Dijing Day. And our Byron Katie Day. Flowing. I feel much better now that we're home. Flowing with the rain. That's a good way to be. About 50%. And all of us aren't here yet, or aren't here. Catherine can't be here. She has a meeting. I should my tongue. That kind of hurt. Okay. Let's get started. This version of the Tao by, thank you for the shares and the hearts and all of that, Ursula Le Guin. Ursula K. Le Guin. I know, right? Oh, thank you guys. So today is yeah, she has. Today's title for this one is Shameless. Let me make sure we're on the right. I have us on the right place. Spokes in a wheel, colors wine the eye. Yes, so we're on chapter 13. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about what her life is like, what her life is. I've met her a couple times, but I don't know, like, what she does during the day. I'll tell you what I do during the day lately, as little as possible. I'm not getting shit done. The 2-day-a-week babysitting kicks my butt. Okay, so Shameless is our chapter out of this. To be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. True. To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. What does that mean? To be in favor or disgrace is to leave. Let me start over. What does that mean? To be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. Favor debases. We fear to lose it. Fear to win it. So to be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. Catch that? What does that mean? To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. I suffer because I'm a body. If I weren't a body, how could I suffer? So people who set their bodily good before the public good could be entrusted with the commonwealth. And people who treated the body politic as gently as their own body would be worthy to govern the commonwealth. So if I put my physical needs and desires before yours, I really can't be trusted to care for the whole. If I treat other people as gently as I treat myself, or as much priority as I treat myself, then I could be trusted to hold power in a community, in a larger group. If you can't, that's where so many politicians get lost. They start out wanting what's best for the whole, and then they get lost. And then they start putting their own body needs, their own physical needs and desires and ego trippy stuff ahead of the goal, ahead of the whole, and they get lost. To be in favor or disgrace is that seeking approval. We want it, but when we get it, we're scared of losing it, so it makes us clutchy and grabby, and we don't feel good if we don't get it, so we base our attitude for the day on who likes us and who doesn't. Yeah, you can see it. So when you see, it's just like seeing a new district attorney that has great intentions and very quickly can get lost. I've seen that firsthand. And then you see it on the larger scale where they start out, most of them start out with good intentions. They care. They want to make a difference in the world. And then you get in that political environment. I'm telling you, from firsthand experience on a small scale, I believe it's the same on a large scale. Yeah, I have friends who've worked in Washington, and they say it's exactly the same. It's dog eat dog. It's scrabble. It's fight. It's ego against ego. It's battle. How do I look today? Who likes me today? Who doesn't? It's pretty ugly. So I am not surprised that they get lost so quickly. And the ones who don't, I'm pretty impressed with. So at the bottom, she has notes on this one. She says, Lao Tzu, a mystic, demystifies political power. Autocracy and oligarchy foster the beliefs that power is gained magically and retained by sacrifice. It is the illusion that powerful people are genuinely superior to the powerless, and that's not true. Lao Tzu does not see political power as magic. He sees rightful power as earned and wrongful power as usurped, stolen. He does not see power as virtue, but as the result of virtue. That's a really good way to say it. You get put in leadership positions naturally based on your own personal power and your own personal ethics, and that's the best way to find yourself in a leadership position. The democracies are founded on that view. That's our hope. He sees sacrifice of self or others as corruption of power, and power as available to anybody who follows the way. Also true. This is a radically subversive attitude. No wonder anarchists and Taoists make good friends. Because anarchists and Taoists don't believe in the power structure the way it's set up. If people are following the truth, if people are following the way, they won't abuse power. It's not possible. So if there's abuse of power going on, regardless of what someone says about how spiritual they are, or how Christian they are, or how whatever they are, if they're abusing power, you can visibly see their lie. Even if you don't catch them in the details of it, you visibly see that they are lying. Lying to themselves also most of the time. You can you can get into pretty dark places when you think you know what's best for everyone else. And when you set about trying to make that happen for everybody else. Like the thought process is, I know best, I have access to better information, I'm smarter than you, I have more schooling than you, I have more money than you, so I know what's best for you. And so since you don't, I'm going to treat you like a child, and I'm going to pass laws on your behalf, even against over your protests, because I know what's best for you. So all humility is gone, all spiritual connection is gone when that's happening. So let's see how Stephen Mitchell translates that section. Education does not equal intelligence at all. Yes, that term should be in service. Yeah, serving the people, serving the public. After I got my bachelor's degree, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. So I didn't have any examples ahead of me. And after I got my bachelor's degree, well, first I went and got my EMT stuff and did some pre-med stuff, and then wasn't in school for years. And then when I was 25, I got my bachelor's degree. And then when I was 38? Anyway, somewhere in there, people had been pushing me and suggesting I get a master's degree, and I was like, no way, there's no freaking way I can make it through grad school, I just can't. Well, then there was a woman I got sat next to in a new unit. Self-guided inspiration, yeah. Well, she was an idiot. She was like the laziest person. I liked her. She was very likable, but she was the laziest person I've ever known. And she eventually got fired. I mean, it took a long time because it was a government job and it takes forever to get fired. But she was so lazy. She would sleep at her desk. She would put her feet up on the desk and pretend to be reading case files and just sleep. She couldn't write a court report to save her life. And she had a master's degree. And I was like, seriously? If she can get through grad school, I can get through grad school. That's not going to be a problem. So it was her that I was like, that's what Tanya said, education doesn't equal intelligence. You only have to have a C. So anyway, don't ever, ever, ever assume that just because someone has letters after their name that they know more than you. Don't ever assume that I ever know more than you. I think I've made it pretty clear that I don't. Right. Right. I'm smart. I'll own that. But I don't know what's best for anybody either, other than myself. So, okay. So, number 13. Tanya. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. You only need a C. That's all you need. And it can even be a low C. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? This is a good one today. Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. However, when you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? Nothing. See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. If I see the world as myself, I'm a little more mindful about what I do to it and what I do in it with my life. And going up the ladder or down the ladder is that perception and that shaky position in life where you're basing your sense of wellness on your social status or your ego position or your employment status or your approval status or how many likes you have or how many followers you've got. Those numbers are always changing. I'm in a blog pause group for pet bloggers. It's not Pet Lovers Tribe, it's a different group. I've been in it for a while. And some of the pet bloggers watch their numbers go up and down on Facebook, their likes and followers and stuff. Well, hello. He's cold. And they worry when the numbers go up and down. But those numbers just go up and down. They just do. Can you still hear me this far away? He's pretty big. Yeah, he's pretty big. Oh, Hootie. Are you cold? He likes being out here with me, but then he gets cold. Here's his face. Hootie, show your face to the camera. Hootie? Hootie? Oh, Hootie. I mean, that's his head, size of a big orange. Okay. He's freezing. His feet are cold. So let's see what Byron Katie has to add to that. Yeah, he's pretty tall, huh? What is that, about 15 inches? About 14 inches. He is sassy. He's the most laid back, and he loves, look at him arch up, like he loves a neck massage. Most of them don't like a lot of pressure on their neck, but he'll sit here and let you massage his neck as long as you want to. You'll get to meet him if you come out in the summer. It's all sweet. He has some kind of hip injury, too, before we got him. He moved in with us. Like, he followed Tonka inside, and he chose us, which is pretty cool. But he has a hip injury. Yeah, he's a sweetie. Oh. Let me just do this. Woodsy. Let's move this tripod. Let's move this, and let me get readjusted here. Thank you. I love him so much. It's nice to be picked. Whoop. It's nice to be picked by an animal. Let me get my legs up here so I won't drop him. There we go, buddy. Now we're all set. He's a big guy. I got a big lap. And he feels it. I'm gonna get you the copy. Yeah, he moved himself in, took about 4 months. He's the one that took 8 months before we could touch him. Yeah, he knows you saved him. And 8 months before I could touch him, and a year before my husband could touch him. Now he sleeps on the bed and he's all cuddly and so sweet. Oh, so sweet, Horty. So sweet, Horty. So let's see what Byron Katie has to tell us. Chapter 13. Funhouse mirror crap. Looked like that character in Ghostbusters, the Pillsbury Puffy, the Stay Puft guy. Because the camera angle makes you look all puffy. Alright, here we go. When you're a lover of what is, just roll with it. I'm fine. You know, I like having a big lap. It holds big cats. It holds babies. I can get both twins on my lap and we can all be comfortable. There's advantages to having a big lap. And I mean, look at him. He's all he's all spread out and cozy. Okay. When you're a lover of what is, it's obvious that the world is your own face in the mirror. But how? That's the key, right? How do you become a lover of what is? The how has been a mystery until now. Now it's clear that all you need to do is investigate your stressful thoughts. The 4 questions and turnaround of the work will take you as deep as you want to go. That's very true. You can stay superficial. You can work through it in layers. You can do it however you need to do it. You can dive right to the core as far as you can go. It's all up to you. It's a very flexible tool. People think that they need to get enlightened in order to be free, and yet nobody knows what enlightenment is. What is that? How do you define it? Yes, it's in the sacred text, and yes, this guru or that lama says he has attained it, but that's just a concept. It's a story of a past. The truth is there's no... Ow, buddy. The truth is there's no such thing as enlightenment. Huh. Really? Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, I love it. Okay, there's no such thing as enlightenment. No one is permanently enlightened. Exactly. If you have someone saying, I'm enlightened. Oh, look, you turned around. Oh, Hootsy. If I'm enlightened, so you should pay me to teach you how to be enlightened. You know you've got a scam artist on your hand. No one is permanently enlightened because that would be the story of a future. So do you believe a stressful thought? There's only enlightenment in the moment. Oh, super cool. Do you realize that the thought isn't true? Yeah, run for the hills. Then you're enlightened to it. It's as simple as that. Okay, You believe the stressful thought, you're confused. You realize your thoughts aren't true, you're enlightened. It's just that easy. He's chewing my mala. I don't know if I want you to do that, buddy. Plus, you're kind of poking me in the boob there. This is, I love him too. I love him so much. This is the kind of day where you just have to take your hands off the wheel and just roll with it. So nothing's going as I planned it to be today, including having a cat on my lap, wanting to play with my mala, and getting poked in the boob. Believe your stressful thoughts, you're not enlightened. Recognize that your thoughts are just thoughts. The bird on your thoughts. Then you're enlightened. In that moment, when you see the truth, you are an enlightened being in that moment. When you have those moments where everything is crystal clear, and you have that love that just flows out of you, and it just won't stop, and it just goes, and all you can do is sit and share it with the whole wide world, that is enlightenment. So every single one of you on here has at some point in your life experienced enlightenment. It's not something you go out and get. It's something that you allow to arise naturally within you. It's already there. You don't have to seek it. In fact, seeking it pushes it away. The next thought comes, and maybe you're aware, enlightened to it as well, and maybe not. I have found there are no new stressful thoughts. They're all recycled. People try to let go of their thoughts, in quotation marks. That's like telling your child you don't want her and kicking her out in the street. I used to go out into the desert to get away from the world. Are you reading with me, Nancy? But the whole world went with me in my head. Every concept that had ever been experienced was in my head. I was undoing the thoughts that run through the mind of every human being. Thoughts are no more individual than the TV program everyone watches. I have found that all over the world, in every language and culture, people suffer because they believe the same stressful thoughts. My mother doesn't love me. I'm not good enough. I'm fat. I need more money. My husband should understand me. My wife shouldn't have left me. The world needs to be saved. These are worldwide, global concerns, global insecurities. It comes with the package of being human, whether you're born in America or Asia. It just comes with it. Excuse me, sir. Of course, I would never ask people not to believe their thoughts. Not only would that be unkind, it isn't possible for people not to believe what they believe, okay, like the terrorists. They can't, until they're ready, they can't stop believing what they believe. We can't stop believing what we believe. The only time you've ever changed a belief was when you were damn good and ready to. I'm still in denial that Coca-Cola is toxic waste that tastes good. We can't help believing our thoughts until we question them. That's the way of it. People used to ask me if I was enlightened, and I would say, I don't know anything about that. I'm just someone who knows the difference between what hurts and what doesn't. I'm just someone who knows the difference between what hurts and what doesn't. Everything hurts except love. Everything that's not sourced in love, sourced in the divine, is painful. I love that. I am someone who wants only what is. To meet as a friend, each concept that arose turned out to be my freedom. So to treat every thought as a friend is the way to freedom. To treat every emotion as a friend is the way out of it. It's the way out of the maze. It's the way of dropping it all and staying centered in source. I do too. Hi, Julie. Julie Jordan Scott. So I'm going to read that last paragraph. I would never ask people not to believe their thoughts. Not only would that be unkind, it isn't possible. We can't help believing our thoughts until we question them, and that's the way of it. People used to ask if I was enlightened, and I would say, I don't know anything about that. I'm just someone who knows the difference between what hurts and what doesn't. I am someone who wants only what is. To me, as a friend, each concept that arose turned out to be my freedom. So lately, here's how this is playing out in my life. Lately, I've been wondering about how, so the Abraham Hicks material I love, and it's helpful. And it, bottom line concept, it's look at what you want to look at, don't look at what you don't want to look at. If you feel good, you're on the right track. If you feel bad, you're on the wrong track. I think sometimes that gets misused in that it makes people reject their emotions to try and reach too quickly for something that feels better. And she says this in her books too, that if you just relax, your own natural state of love will come back to you. But you may not go from anger to love. There's a process. I think she calls it the emotional scale. If you're rageful, you're not going to jump right to love. You're going to go from rageful to maybe depressed, to maybe annoyed, to maybe a little less annoyed, to maybe calm, and on and up until you get back to your state of love, your state of connection that we would call feeling good. It's our tendency as humans to reject that. You cycle through it. Yeah, you cycle through. So we flinch away from emotions that are uncomfortable. So we never get to go through the process of letting them cycle through and come back to source. We just reject them, shove them to the side, and don't think about them. This process I've been doing lately is really challenging me to grab every uncomfortable thought as soon as I'm aware of it. So, yesterday there was a Facebook news report. It involves some animal abuse. I'm sensitive to that stuff, and so I react very negatively to it. Yes, exactly. It keeps coming up until I allow the process, and those things are no longer a trigger. As long as they're still a trigger, I want to reverse my tendency to just hide. Now, I'm not going to go out and stare at horrible things that upset me. I don't need to do that because they cross my path enough that I know I still have some stuff there. So in this case, most of the animal people I know were not passing on the picture because they know that we see too many of those pictures anyway, and it sticks in our head. Most animal people, most spiritual people are really sensitive and empathic and get really affected by stuff like that. But twice yesterday I ran across the picture, just skimming, and it's such a shock, when you're like, cat video and funny baby picture, and then, so it catches you off guard. And fortunately, it wasn't too bad. Super hard. I don't know that it will. I hope that I'd never I think it's always going to get my attention. I want it to get my attention. I don't want it to devastate me. I want to be aware of it, and I want to be centered in source so that I know what I can do and what I can't do about the situation. Sometimes I take action on a national level. I spoke at a conference last year. Yeah, I want to be desensitized. I don't want to go numb. And I think there's a difference there. Yeah, it devastates. It can devastate me. So, right. If I'm devastated, I can't help. So you remember that discussion a week or so ago where we said that if I break my leg, I need both of your legs to be in working order so that you can help me. If I let that stuff devastate me so that I'm knocked out on the floor, then I can't help any animal. So, I spoke at a national conference last year, or was it this year? April. Child abuse. So what I do when I'm triggered, I amplify it. And that's like the hardest thing for me to do. I go backwards. Yes. Oh. Thanks. But, so, it's taking the power back out of it, Michelle. It's that Busting Loose book by Robert Scheinfeld. The process is this. Something uncomfortable crosses your path and you grab it. Instead of denying it, you grab it, you amplify it. It's a interesting book. I don't even know really how to explain that book. And I've had it for a long time and I've never actually worked it. Now I'm working it and I'm finding it extremely difficult. So when you have any kind of negative reaction, any kind of discomfort, you grab it and you make it bigger. You go, instead of away from it and recoiling from it, you reverse direction and dive headfirst into it. Yes, I'm finding it helpful now. Yeah, not before. I've had it for a long time. Sarah Ballard mentioned his book, The Ultimate Key to Happiness. Similar process. I think I haven't read that. I got Busting Loose from The Money Game a long time ago. But I'm using that process for everything. So when I run across an uncomfortable picture on Facebook now, or something that pisses me off about Donald Trump, or, anything that crosses my path that creates any kind of emotion in me, I'm grabbing it, you make it bigger, you keep breathing through it until it naturally settles back down. And then you say, I reclaim the power that I've given that situation. I reclaim the power that I've given Donald Trump to upset me. I reclaim the power, and as I reclaim the power, I feel it, I'm aware of it coming back to me. These are the things I say to myself. I'm aware of the power coming back to me. I feel it coming back to me. And then I express appreciation for the thing that triggered me, that gave me an opportunity to reclaim my power out of that situation. So then I express a lot of gratitude and then wait for the next one. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. I'm getting such a lovey face. Oh, lovey kitty faces are the best. So it's that concept of going, I have another book called When You're Falling, Dive. Yeah. So grab it, make it bigger, roll with it as long as you can. It'll naturally subside. Take a deep breath and keep breathing. Then reclaim your power from it. Oh, yeah. So I spoke at a national conference in, or was it June? I can't remember. Oh, it was the end of May in Nashville at a bloggers conference. And my topic was self-care and how limiting your exposure to the traumatic stimuli helps you avoid secondary trauma syndrome and burnout and compassion fatigue. Now I'm thinking I need to possibly revamp that and work towards some sort of middle ground of desensitization without going numb, and talk more. I'm hoping to speak at that conference again in June this year. I'm sorry, it was April this year, June next year in Phoenix. So I was thinking today I want to rework that and talk more about, don't let the abusers take your power away. When they knock us down like that, when just the story of it, just the headline, can knock us off our feet, then we lose our power to be a change agent. We're weakened. And I think there has to be a way that we can work with it and maintain and actually increase our power to create change. That's all. That's just my thoughts lately. And I've only been doing that process for about 3 days. So what he says is things that we've talked about before, that when you start this kind of stuff, the world gives you all of a sudden a lot of opportunities to practice. Journaling also mentions the bothness, duality, essentially the balance of everything. The middle ground is almost always the best. Yeah. Yes. So I don't want money knocking me off center. I don't want animal abuse headlines knocking me off center. If I see a horrible picture, I want to dive into my emotions right then and not let it knock me off center for days. Any of it. People, a negative interaction with a person, I don't want that to knock me off center for very long. It probably will always cause me to stumble, but I want to get back faster. And I want more. I've given away a lot of power to certain situations. I never let myself off the hook, Michelle. I never let myself off the hook. Maybe I should sometimes. Yes, I don't want to lose my power to create change. So I don't want child abusers to take... If I spend all my energy hating them, I lose my energy to be involved in positive change efforts. I waste my energy if I hate on them. I waste my energy if I imagine them being tortured in the same way they tortured a child. That's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my energy. And it gives them power that I'd rather not. It gives that act, their actions, attention, when the actions are already over, and that's not where our attention should be. Our attention should be in helping repair the damage. Our attention should be in working within the political systems to create change. A lot of good change is happening for animal rights. A lot of good change has happened for children's rights. But we have to have the energy to do those things. And we have to be connected to source to know when is the right time to take action. When is the time to shout? When is the time to whisper? It does no good to think that way either. Yeah, it just expends our energy with no result. Right? So if we're connected, we know when is the right time to write my congressman. We know when it's the right time to go stand on my congressman's doorstep. When's the right time to join a march or a rally, a political rally. And when's the right time to stay home and pray instead. Sometimes it's the right time to get out there and march and yell your lungs out. Sometimes it's wasted effort, and you won't know when it's right for you if you're off center. If you're connected to source, if you're steeped in love, you know what the right thing to do is in every moment. That includes my subtitle for today, which I almost didn't get to. When sometimes conflict with people, our friends and family, we can encounter sudden outbursts of conflict when we start this kind of work. And we need to be connected enough to know when it's an opportunity to work through conflict and reclaim power, and when it's time to cut that person loose. There's a real fine line with knowing when someone is acting out of character to give you an opportunity to reclaim power, and when you just don't resonate with them anymore because your life has taken such a different turn. When you're moving into such a different energy, sometimes people fall away. It's a very hard spot, and it's hard to tell. If you're not staying centered, it's easy to get caught up in the emotional drama of it all, and it's hard to tell, what do I do here? What is trying to be born here? I agree. I don't believe we always have to stay connected because we were born into the same family. I totally agree with you. Sometimes it's not even possible. Sometimes you try and you just can't. And sometimes it's just too unhealthy a situation and you have to cut your ties. Yes, I do too. And in fact, Tanya, I get judged pretty often for saying that. I get judged by family, and I've been judged by friends for saying that it doesn't matter. If I'm in such a different place that we can't communicate, then we don't need to keep trying to force the issue. What stops us from making the right choice? I think if we're still seeking approval from that person or that situation, if we don't recognize that it's okay to let people go, if we're so caught up in being right, we won't know what's the right choice because we'll be more invested in winning the argument than in making the right choice. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself and argue. Most times you don't. You can't push a noodle, right? You have a spaghetti noodle, you can't push it. It takes two. It takes two to pull a rope. If you let go of your anger and your resentment, you will know what's right. Yeah. If you use it as an opportunity to clean house, kind of, and come back to center, then you have a real strong instinct of, is this a person you can work with? Is this a person that you can enjoy this small piece of in small doses and let them continue to have a connection to your life? Or is this a person that's so unhealthy and so determined to squash you that you have to cut your ties? There's so many options, and to be aware of all the options, you have to let go of the need for approval from other people, and you have to be centered in your heart. Toxic. Yeah. Life's too short for toxic. That's the same with any situation. Work, family, friends, living environments. To know what it is, you've got to be centered. So I know someone who's going through that, where someone who's been a friend for a very long time is suddenly acting in bizarre ways, and being very attacking and being very divisive to the family. It's ugly, and it will take some time, I think, for that situation to be, is it a time to work through this to form a new kind of relationship? Or is it a time that we are just too different and we can't share space anymore? And that's hard. It's hard. It's never easy to cut someone loose. A lot of times, if it's personal growth for you, you make the changes and the other person changes or they go away. Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. That's how I feel, Tanya. I don't really do shallow. I just don't. I don't have time for it anymore. I don't really care that much anymore. If somebody has such a small piece that I can connect with, it's generally not satisfying for either one of us, and it's easier just to let it go. So let's play this out. So say you decide you're going to let yourself be triggered. You're going to let yourself be aware of your triggers, and you're going to work with them as soon as they come up, as soon as you're aware of them. Then people start acting like nut jobs around you. Your spouse acts out of character, or bizarro things just start happening and you're working with it and it's just for you to be triggered and work with it, as soon as you're done, that person goes back to being normal. Or that person leaves your life. Have you experienced that before? You're going through something and somebody's acting weird and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. This is a chance for me to stop seeking approval. I gotcha. And then it just dissipates. It just goes away. Yeah. You have a boss that you're struggling with and you figure out what it is for you, then that boss either stops acting like a jackass. Oh gosh. Or that boss goes away or you find another job. Expect it and it won't shock you when it happens. Yes, plan to be triggered. And I'm sorry to hear that you're in that kind of situation right now, Cindy. Staying centered will help you know what to do. Always asking yourself, is this my shadow knocking at my door? Is this stuff that I need to work with for me? Like, what's this about for me? Start there. I have cat hair on my nose. And if I wipe it off with my cat hair hand, it's not going to work. I promise I'm not blowing my nose in my shirt. Although if I really needed to, I would. Bootsy. Look at this face. Do what you need to do. You gotta do what you need to do. You need to blow your nose in your shirt because you don't want to get up and disturb the cat. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I promise it's just cat hair. But my legs are going numb from having this beast of a cat on me. Oh, Otie. Oh, Otie. So does that make sense to you? The more you can maintain awareness that you are consciously seeking to be triggered, when it happens, you're not as shocked and you can grab it faster and you can work with it faster. And I'm not telling you it's painful. It's painful. It hurts. It's painful. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Just dive into it. It dissipates by itself, I promise, no matter how hard you cry. Oh, good. Oh, good, I'm glad. No matter how hard you cry, no matter how mad you get, it will dissipate. You're just breathing through it. You're just standing witness. Cindy, I'm so glad you joined us today. If it's something that you need. Oh my God, who's? Yes, as information. Yes, Rhonda. So you're attracting it because that's what you're resonating with. I'm attracting things that, if I'm fearful, I'm going to attract more of the things that scare me. Does that make sense, Rhonda? So if I'm attracting people who treat me like crap, it's because I'm accepting that and I'm radiating that. So the next person that comes along that treats me like crap, I'm aware of it and I say, oh wait, I know what this is about. And I'm going to start the process of looking at, how come I let you treat me like crap? What is this about for me? Where do I need to heal in here so that I don't put up with that bullshit out there? When things no longer trigger you, you no longer attract it. You won't see it in your life anymore. I don't have abusive authority figures in my life anymore, because I dealt with all that. I don't ever even see them. And that was a big, long, tangled up mess, but when it's done, it's done. I can walk off a job not having another job because I'm not afraid to be poor. I don't like it, and I'm still working to change that, but I'm never going to stay in a job that makes me miserable. You're not 3 steps back. You're not 3 steps back. You're exactly where you need to be. If someone is triggering you, Rhonda, ask what it's about for you. Heal that part in you, and then thank them in your head for giving you that opportunity. Thank you for being a bitch so that I could realize I'm still allowing bitches in my life. And what's that about for me? If you're letting someone disrespect you, then there's something in you that needs to be healed. So you don't take that anymore. You see yourself as worth more than that. Someone talks bitchy to you, you just say, yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't do bitch anymore. So, I'll see you later. Have fun. When you look back over your life, you'll see all kinds of patterns. You don't take this process and go seek it out. Life will bring you plenty of chances to work on the things that you need to work with. You don't need to go looking for them. So I don't go look for animal abuse headlines. When they cross, but I'm not going to I'm not going to have this underlying anxiety when I'm scrolling through Facebook that I'm going to see one. Now, when I see one, I'm going to recognize it, another chance to take my power back out of that. Then I can actually read. He's making my nose itch so bad. Then I can actually think about what I want to do. If anything, I might not need to do anything. And that's not to say I'm never going to block another site. You know what I mean? Like it's simple, but it's complex. You'll know is the thing. I'll know when I need to block a person versus when I need to work on some shit. I'll know the difference. Hi, buddy. I feel like I'm holding a big furry baby. I kind of am holding a big furry baby. Such a baby, would you? Do you guys baby talk your animals? It's a terrible habit. Yeah, trusting yourselves to know. Such a baby, would you? I try not to baby talk them. They're not babies. I know I can't stop it. I tell myself, don't talk to them like babies. They're not children. They're not babies. They're sentient beings, but I can't stop baby talking them. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. Pray for the abuser as well as the animal. Yes. We all baby talk our animals here. Yes. Yeah. See, Cindy, I can't even get to the point of praying for the situation if I allow myself to get so knocked down by it. That's what I want. I want to be able to maintain. I want to be able to reclaim my power so I can even have the energy to pray. It's bad. I have a terrible reaction to it. I could work child abuse cases all day long and not react to them the same way. I do react to them, but not in the same way. Yeah, if I'm in denial, if I'm blocking everything, I don't have the opportunity to pray either. That's a very good point. If I'm in denial and I'm just shutting it down, I don't have the opportunity to add my positive energy to that. Because I'm not aware of it. I've blocked it out. Oh, buddy. Somebody abused this guy. Or something happened to him. His hips are pretty fucked up. And he was pretty scared. Because he lived on the street. He was pretty scared when we met. Oh, gee. He's my wise old soul kitty. He's also an asshole to the new cat. But generally, he's the most laid back, wise, calm, old soul cat I've ever had. I love him. Okay, I probably need to get doing some things around here. Those dishes aren't going to wash themselves. Yeah, Juniper Hoot. Call him Hoot because he makes these little chirpy, hooty sounds. But I like that he looks like a juniper berry in certain lights. You know how juniper berries are like underneath are like a dark purple, black purple color? That's why he reminds me of a juniper berry. So we just call him Juniper Hoot. Because I couldn't decide which name. My husband names our animals usually. He named him Hoot. I named him Juniper. He named Tonka. I wanted to name Tonka Simon, but Tonka really fits him. So I call him Simon P. Tonka because I think he needed a middle initial. And then he named Grit because she was no bigger than a grit, and she had she had the grit to survive being a 2-week-old kitten in a snowstorm. And then Juna is named after the main character in Stephen Pressfield's book, The Legend of Bagger Vance. That movie, the main character's name, Matt Damon played him in the movie, is named Ranulph Juna. And Juna was such a little weak guy, little kitten. I wanted him to have strength to overcome, so I named him Juna. Because that character overcame a lot of adversity in that movie. Plus, that character's actually named after a character in either the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads. I can't remember. It's a hero's name, and Juna needed hero energy. So, and he's just Juna. He doesn't have another name. Oh my God, my legs have gone to sleep. Yeah. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. I'm so glad you let her in. Oh, bless her heart. I don't know how they survive either. I really don't. They're tough. I don't know how children survive the things they survive. We're just tough. We're tougher than we think we are. Cats do. The life force is strong. It'll go a long way. Oh, I like his profile. Ben did. I will too. My husband didn't used to be that way, and now he is. As evidenced by the dogs on the porch. You named her Purdy. Had a little ugly cat. Oh. I love that you named her Purdy. You see your handsome face. I never have known what he looks like in my lap. He really is huge. I bet she was sweet. Big old Black Panther kitty. Ooh. You never rescued her from a wall, though? From a wall? Well, have a great day. Oh, Linda's story, yes. I'm not going to do an oil scope today because I've just run out of time. I may toss one in tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Linda likes to leap over walls for cats. And if you have follow-up questions or you need to touch on anything we talk about in the scope, toss it out in the Periscope PeriFam group on Facebook that Michelle created, and or send me a message if you need anything. I'll be around. I'll be here tomorrow, earlier in the day. So, I'm glad you're here, and this was good information today. Really liked the reading for today too. So it's so funny. I'm glad he jumped up here so I could see what he looks like when he's getting petted. He's usually facing away from me, so I don't know what he looks like. You're welcome. I'm glad it was helpful. Very welcome. See you guys tomorrow. So much love coming your way from me. Thanks for the hearts and the shares. Enjoy your day. Love you bunches.